All right, everybody, let's do the recap today. That was a very interesting day for me. It was very profitable. So let's see what Tesla offered for us. This morning I didn't trade Tesla because I missed trading at the open, but it turned out to be a very nice 5-minute opening range breakup from 165 all the way up to 170. And then after that, it came down to the VWAP. And as you see here, it really struggled around the VWAP, but eventually lost the VWAP and sold off all the way up to 163. What I did was 3 trades on that. Two trades I got stopped out. So that was the first trade that I went short here. I got stopped out, and then another short that I got stopped out, and eventually I went another short with the add in there. So that was the trade that I did short, and then I added more. My stop loss was just above 168 level, which really close to testing that one here. So sorry, that was so that one, my stop loss was somehow about 168. It did test out, eventually broke down, and I was really bearish on that Tesla because the earning was bad, and I was expecting that eventually it's going to lose that. And as you see, eventually really lost that here from 168 all the way up to 160 peak. We got a lot of bids and signals here as well, and then on this pullback I added more at 165.89 all the way up to 164.34. so that was a level at the low of the pre-market, but this level is actually coming from a place on a daily chart. If you go to the daily chart, you see that this is an area that we have bounced before very nicely around here. So that 164.34, very important daily level. And as you see, even in the pre-market, bounced back very heavily on that. So what happened here after that? So we did really bounce back very heavily on that, but we really never could get the follow through. Came down and tested for a few more times. Eventually broke down that 164.33, came down all the way to 163, and I partialed more on that. So I'm still 900 shares short here. So it was very profitable. So I made the losses back plus some profit. I also shorted some calls of Tesla for tomorrow at 170. And what you can do is you can essentially trade short that. I think Brian and Ardi in the chat room also did it that way. So what you can do is you can short the calls. Like here, this is an area that I actually shorted the calls at around 153, and now it's trading at around 59 cents. So it drops almost 75% up on that. So why shorting a call is good? Because when the price is going to go down, or you expect the price is going to go down, when you're shorting the calls, as the price goes down, the value of the calls are going to come down because nobody wants to buy a call anymore. Therefore, you can profit from that as well. So that's a really nice trade on that as well here. As you see, 80 contracts at the 151, and still is going down. If everything goes down, it would be about $12,000 profit. So I probably want to let it expire by end of today or tomorrow. These are for tomorrow. So that is the trade on the Tesla. So it was very nice, very decent trading. So I think this is gonna go again. I have the option of either cover them now, or I can just let them expire by tomorrow and collect all the premium. So that is the situation. And that was the only trade that I did. Really very nice trade. I'm really proud of especially this ad that I did at the open. I think Paris traded at the open. Let's see what Paris did at the open. So it's again sold off, came back up. Paris went short just right at the VWAP. Partial, and this pullback I went back long again and went long. And later during the day, Paris also shorted again around here, 167. So he got a couple of that drop as well. So what you're seeing here is that at the open you can trade for half an hour long, and then you can trade the same stock at the short if you understand the price action and the time and sales really well. So that's it. That was a really good deal. But the reason that Tesla is really selling off is the earning came in yesterday and the results were not great. One thing that people mentioned that they did not report the gross margin that they have. So they probably, they were hoping to get always about 25% margin, but they didn't report that. So probably it's going to be, so the last time was I think 22. So I think it's probably significantly less. So they're taking some heavy losses probably on the cars. And also the free cash flow dropped by 87%. So that's also another huge thing that they had, and that's a very big concern for investors. So Elon Musk is really losing money on Tesla to keep the market share, especially in this environment. And apparently, I just heard that I'm doing the recap. Apparently, his test for SpaceX also exploded. So that was also a disaster for him. So Elon Musk is having a bad time in 420. All right, so that's it. Tesla is going to down percent. I think what I assume is Tesla is going to probably grind down lower. So I don't have a lot of shares left on it. So I let it run a little bit more. But most important thing is these calls are very, very important. Some people are asking that what is the reason for selling calls instead of shorting it is if the stock is getting into the choppiness like what it was about half an hour here. If the stock is trading on the choppiness, the time value of the options are in your favor. So if you short the options here, even though the price doesn't move, your value of the options is slowly, the time decay helps you. So that's also one advantage. I think Brian shorted at 170, Ardi shorted at 170, and that's why I decided to do short it at 170 as well. So that's a little bit of an advantage in addition to the leverage that you're using for options. All right, so that's really, really, really important. And there is another thing that came up during the chat room, mentioned that people are having really trouble letting the winners run. So, as you see Tesla, I'm really patient with this last part. I want to see as much as possible is going to go low. And how can we actually do that, let the winners run? So what I want to remember people that if you see your paper, so if you go actually see the paper that Carlo Azzaratini and I published, and we did a sensitivity analysis in our model, and essentially what we found is that the maximum profit that you're getting in our model in the opening range breakout is when you hold as much as possible. I know it's very human nature that you want to really get out of the position and make the profit as much as possible. But this one is telling you that in opening range breakout, your maximum profit is when you actually have a small stop loss, like 5% of your ATR, and you hold it for the end of the day or 10R as much as possible. Do not partial out too early. So that's the maximum profit that you are getting is at the end of this range. So it's very, very important to see this three-dimensional expected P&L in the risk that you're taking. So very important results. So that's why you should have just let it run. Don't partial out. I know as soon as you saw that green thing in your screen, you wanted that. Like I'm very, very tempted to try to sell everything and book the profit. But on the long term, it really helps you to just let this one run as much as possible. So hopefully it was helpful, this recap, and looking forward to trading tomorrow morning. And after tomorrow morning, I'm going to head out to Nepal for climbing the Everest. So looking forward to see that. And another thing that I wanted to mention, that guys, is the importance of this level 164.34, very important level. Both during the trading and also in the pre-market. In the pre-market, huge bounce from here. These levels don't come out of nowhere. They're actually coming from the daily chart. You see, it's just a very, very important daily level. So again, I can remove this one, all the levels here. So as you see, can just by marking it here around this area. So roughly, so as you see that you get around that area that you got the bounce plus from this area. So that's it, guys. Thank you so much for watching the recap, and looking forward to trade next to you tomorrow morning, guys. Ciao.